Well, greetings everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the magnificent show we call the Inworld Review. I say magnificent because I've sort of felt like I was in the circus ring for a minute. I've been looking at three of our guests, and well, they look like maybe they're circus performers or clowns, or I don't know, but those magnificent men in their costumes. Anyway, I'll talk more about that later. But for the moment, I'll introduce myself. My name is Mal Burns, and I'm joined by, well, on my right hand side, the man who sits everywhere, fiddles with all the knobs available, and basically keeps this show running, especially the broadcast side of it with the sound and vision and everything else. None other than James Atlloud. Welcome, James.
Oh, thank you, Mel. There's nothing like having a reputation.
Right. Any old reputation would do.
Any old
Right.
reputation, right?
Yeah, that is something to be said for that, actually. Right, and on my left-hand side, I've got my wonderful co-host, also the founder, convener, etc., of Hypergrid Safari, and so many wondrous other things and blogs going back to our school days, I think, if you count the ones in Second Life many years ago. It's none other than Thirza Ember. Welcome, Thirza.
Yes, I agree with Mal. It doesn't matter what they say about you as long as they spell your name correctly. So, and if you can spell Atlloud right, you deserve a prize. Yes, it's great to be here with our lovely guests.
It's true. I still get out loud wrong sometimes. It depends where it is, But yeah, the double L thing,
That's right. The
For
Welsh.
James, it's double L. For me, it's double Dutch. There you go.
Ah.
Right. Now, I'll be getting a full introduction for them later, but we're joined by three guests who, between them, are sort of behind something called the Open Sim World's Fair, which won't be to next year, but the planning is under serious way already. So I'll just introduce them on camera. The clown with the jangly balls on her head. Yeah, that's Kimm Starr. We've had her here before. So welcome, Kimm. Well, you need to unmute, don't you? You had it again. Okay. The bloke in the middle with a hat and the hat. I'm getting an echo again now. Somebody's got an open mic. Feedback. Never mind. His name is Cooper Swizzle. So welcome, Cooper. You've been here before as well.
Yes, thank you.
And finally, welcome. She has not been here before, but she's welcome here now, and that is Kashari right, just Kashari, I think will do.
Sorry, Mahana. Thank you for having me.
I'm just, I don't think my glasses are good enough for your surname. I need better glasses on the screen. Never mind. Yeah, so welcome, Kashari, too. We'll be getting to you a little bit later. We've just got a few sort of introductory bits that we do here first to get the show on the road, so to speak. And the first of those involves handing the screen over to Thirza for this week's Hypergrid happenings.
Yes, Mal. And if it's happening on the Hypergrid. And so this week's Inworld Review Hypergrid happenings is going to cover one or two interesting things. Of course, what is this week? It's Valentine's Day week, 14th of February coming up, Florist's Delight. And there is a beautiful event happening over on Tosca. If you know anything about German grids, you know Soul Grid, which is one of the most beautiful. And Tosca is the prettiest sim that is on Soul Grid. And I'm going to talk about Valentine's Day on Soul Grid in just a minute. But before that, I'd just like to point out that we are going to two different places this week. One of them is Sweet Home Dragons. That's on Barefoot Dreamers Grid. And the second place is, guess where? Tosca. We've been invited by Nasty Backley to come over. She is one of the most romantic people I've ever met. And she's just a very beautiful person, a great artist. And she's made a lovely region, a dancing area. So we're going to spend an hour or so over there with her and with all the soul people. So that will be really great fun. Can't wait also to see what dragons there are over on Barefoot Dreamers. That's a sort of anti-Valentine's Day thing. And we'll be meeting with DJ Alex Harper for that. So that's going to be fun. Our second visit to Barefoot Dreamers. Another thing that's coming up, I keep missing mentioning DJ Madrill. I really love him. He's an elf, but he's also into rockin' and rollin'. What more could anyone ask? This event happens over on AMV Grid every Thursday, so if you can. You'll love it if you do. He's just a really charming person, and the sim is very pretty too, Rocky Shores. So take a look at that. You can play games and just hang out and chill. He's an elf, so that's what they do. The next thing I'd like to mention, and I forgot to say this last week, which really annoys me because there's such charming people over on Kitely. I think some of you guys may know them, Till, Melanie, and Trouble Ahead. That you can see them there pictured. They run this wonderful, well, it's Trouble Ahead's region, but these lovely people are with her, Till and Melanie. They do role playing on ships, and I bet our guests here know them well. It's the Catronian Archipelago, and every Friday you can go over there and play with them. They role play with ships, they have cannons that work, they pirates stuff going on all the time. You can just res a ship anytime over there if you want. They're incredibly welcoming. The sims are always open, which, as we all know, in Kitely is quite a rarity. So just go there, put the name of the sim, Catronian Archipelago, in. You may have to wait about 30 seconds for the sim to spool up, but after that, go over and play. There's miles and miles of sea and coves and villages, and of course, loads and loads of tall ships to play with. So don't miss that. And a big shout out to Trouble, such a sweetheart. Another thing I wanted to mention, now this is still kind of in beta, but it might be worth your while to bear with it. And I'm seeing more and more friends come online here. This is called Hype Metaverse. There's so many social platforms out there. You've got your Facebook, Discord, and you've got Twitter and Mastodon and MeWe and so forth. So you may say, well, it's just another one. But sometimes, just as has happened this week, where Facebook has been making it very difficult for us to post things about places in OpenSim, it's always good to have another option. So hypemetaverse.com is a social platform. It's not just for OpenSim, it's for anybody who's a gamer. You can publicize anything that you're up to in the terms of virtual, and you'll find a lot of people that you already know who are over there. So that's a fun thing to do. Finally, this poster will not be unfamiliar to our guests because it's a World's Fair. It's not happening tomorrow, but it's coming up. And as we're going to learn, there's a lot to do and there's a lot to participate in. So that's a really fun thing I'm really looking forward to being part of. So finally, if you do have a special event, a project, a party, maybe you're having an art opening, or perhaps you teach a class here in OpenSim. If you're having something like that coming up on your grid soon, let us know and we'll be very happy to include it in Grid Happenings.
Well, thank you, Thirza. I wonder if I will end up dancing with Tosha at Tosca on Wednesday. Yeah, I had to say that, didn't I? Because the rhyme.
I wouldn't be at all surprised.
Yeah, It has been known to happen on non-Valentine's days anyway. So there we are. It just goes together. There's an island in the Scilly Isles in Britain called Tresco. There is also a supermarket chain in Britain called Tesco.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason, I always used to get them mixed up. I say, I'm going to go shopping at Tesco. Well, you better call the boat quick. Anyway, it's that kind of thing. Tosca. Okay, let's be serious and get on with some other stuff. Right. I have a couple of films here to get out of the way, just short little promo things, really. This one I think I meant to use last week and didn't, but it's still relevant. It's just there's one region on the Hypergrid, of course, called avatarlife.com. And this is just like a 90-second thing of theirs. Avatar Live. Near the beginning of that, I was expecting to see an obligatory line dance, but actually, that's the only dance that wasn't in that, I think. Okay, so Avatar Live showing off their wares there, so to speak. Next up, I think this may be featured in one of Thirza's blogs coming up shortly, but I might as well play the whole thing from here. This is Destiny Lore by Art Destiny. So it's art. Oops. Well, as you probably gathered there from the text, it's a German grid, I believe. Is it Destiny? Yeah, Art Destiny Grid, I think it's called. I didn't get there. But anyway, music and art speak for themselves, regardless of language. So that looks very enjoyable. Okay, so now we get back to some of the more nitty gritty stuff, namely blogs. And tying in rather well with the end of that film, the first blog I've got here from all these are Thurza's blog at hgsafari.blogspot.com, and I've got two from I think these are just the end of the week before last. I'm not quite sure actually, but one here is called Dates with Destiny, and as you can see, it's just a few pictures showing basically what was in the film a minute ago. Nice little, what do we call them, floats there, I guess. And any comments on this, Thurza? Well, I've got it up there.
Sure, yes. This is actually a combo of two events, really. Loru Destiny had opened that beautiful new sim of hers that we just saw that wonderful video of. Thanks for showing that. This beautiful place. That's a brand new thing that Laura has been working on for some time. There's some computer generated art in there, computer assisted art. Of course, Laura's husband, he's a real world artist. He works in acrylics, and we've been to see his work lots of times. I think you guys will remember Triad with those wonderful colors. And a lot of figure work over there on Art Destiny Grid. Well, Laura's a bit of an artist too, so she's done that wonderful sim now that she's just opened, and hopefully we can get to do a safari and all go and see it together pretty soon. And the other thing that is happening this week, of course, is the parade, which happens tomorrow. And as you can see, the safari bus is in the parade. Lots of other grids have joined.
It's had a makeover and it's very well worn bus now, isn't it?
It has, yeah, exactly. Souped up, thanks to Marlon. So just our friends who are on the
I gotta say, it's been to every festival under the sun, so it's no surprise. The old Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Sorry,
our friends who are on the couch, of course, are famous for their flotilla, which was a wonderful parade where everybody's creativity was shown. And they do a similar thing every year in Germany. They have a parade this time of year, of course, here in Italy too. And so Marlon has one where anybody from any grid can bring some kind of vehicle and be in the parade. And that will be tomorrow around this time, a little bit earlier than this, when it's Rosenmontag in Germany. And so there'll be a parade, a virtual parade too. That happens tomorrow.
It's quite nice that they've done it. Obviously, we've missed the one on the 8th, but tomorrow 12th, and also when is it? Wednesday 14th. That clashes with Safari.
Oh yeah, no, the one on the 8th. There was about I was there. There was about 40 people altogether showed up. There was a huge number of mostly Germans, but not only. It was a wonderful party, and Marlon's a really good DJ, so it was a fun event.
I'm a bit worried about the 14th. Will anybody be around for Safari if they're all turning up here? Well, actually, what is the time? Oh, it's actually before Safari, isn't it? Anyway.
It's a little bit earlier. Yeah, a little bit earlier.
Okay. Well, you also had another blog up, more SGT is what you called it. Right. Tell us about this. This is self-guided tours or trails in OpenSim and challenges, etc. So it's just really a roundup, I guess. And from what I can see of these pictures, this is the space in next door to our Avacon studio. Am I right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Because the safari only runs for a season of 10 weeks, and then we take a break. In fact, there's only 4 more weeks left in this season. There were quite a lot of weeks where there is no safari, but of course that doesn't mean there's nowhere to go and people shouldn't get out there. So what we've got is a set of tours. Each one is 6 regions, 6 places. Mostly each one is on a different grid, not always, but quite often, and they're themed. So you've got maybe all real places. So you can go and see Vietnam, you can go and see Paris, you can go and see Angkor Wat in Cambodia, or maybe the other theme could be something like science. So you can go and see Tesla's house, for example, on Littlefield Grid or AMV. So that's the idea, that there's a kind of a theme, but it's not too strenuous a thing. You get to go to 6 different places, maybe some hopefully some that you've never seen before, so it's a nice surprise. And basically, it's a very low-tech system. You pick up the landmarks and you can go. That means you can give the landmarks to somebody else. You can go with a friend. You can go back later. And these ones that you're showing right now, these are the art destinations, which are a huge number. There's more art than anything else, obviously, in OpenSim. So rather than number them 1, 2, and 3, each different tour has a color. And I've already been given 6 more, so I'm going to have to build yet another portal and another build, because there's just always so many new places to add to the mix. And the idea is just to get out there and see what's out there.
Yeah, you love it, really. Right. Yeah, another. This is. This is at the OSCC thing, is it, or is it just a copy? So I remember that.
This is on OSCC Grid, the conference grid, where we have a permanent exhibition. And in fact, there you can find out there's quite a lot of history too about OpenSim. It's not just landmarks. And there's a huge base too on the left-hand side. If you can see that big thing in the background on the left, that is a set of different resources on the internet. So it's blogs. There are portals where you can get information. You can get free scripts. There's a couple that are in German and French. So there's different forums, that kind of stuff, to just show you how there's really no excuse to not to be connected with what other people are doing in OpenSim, because the information's out there. And we just try to tie it up all in one place so you can see it. And we're always adding, because there's always something new happening.
And another shot of the same one, really. It's such a very moody colouring there, actually. Wind light or whatever you call it. This is back on the Evercon I think, I'm sure.
Yeah, the calm before the storm.
Yeah. All right. Now moving on. Well, basically the next 2 hours visits this week. Now I haven't got it on screen, and I meant to. I think I was looking at your calendar, and it's either today or tomorrow. Is it Littlefield Grid having a birthday? You remember?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, you started a calendar, haven't you, showing the grid birthdays, and it popped up. So I think we can say happy birthday to LF Grid, as they are known.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Walter.
Yeah. Right. Next, we have the 2 blogs about this week's stops on Safari. We're starting with Lawrence of Serenity. Where did that come from, really? I guess that's him. Is that him? Yeah, I think it was. If I'm right, he arrived late, didn't he? We were already there and looking around oh no, sorry, I'm on the wrong one. I'm thinking of the Priory. Okay, tell us about this. Lawrence of Serenity here. That's him.
Yeah, so Lawrence is a really interesting guy. He's a Kitely guy, and he has a sim that really, I mean, it's just his own personal sim. He's not aiming to make it open to the public, but he very kindly did. He's got all kinds of different things happening on the sim, but he chose to show us this art exhibition, which is this real life neon art, which I thought was incredibly interesting because it was an artist I'd never heard of before. So I found that pretty cool. I think everybody was a bit wowed by some of the pieces. And then, yeah, there's James admiring. I'm not quite sure what that is, but
something to do with film.
Maybe somebody thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A reel of film there, so it's pertinent, I guess. Was it James? Any comment?
I mean, who doesn't love neon? Oh my goodness, that's a great combination of color, brilliance, and so I loved it.
Fair enough. Oh, it didn't move. There it is now. Yeah. Oh, this is very neon too, isn't it? Yeah.
And there's of course our lovely Luna, who came while she was at work to share with us.
Yeah, she'd been online earlier saying, "Is there a safari today?" Because she normally can't make it, and she was very excited that she was going to be able to make it, and so she did. Yeah. Great to see her.
So one of the peculiarities about this particular place is that it's entirely made of prims, not the art, obviously, but the house and all the buildings that we went to see. It's a prim build, which these days you don't see very often. I'm just beginning to understand what that piece of art behind Forest is. Sorry about that. Or maybe it's the map of Florida.
It's all in the interpretation. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's abstract.
Apologies, public.
It's abstract enough, you know, the jagged triangle.
No, okay. All right. It's yes. So anyway, so this week it's kind of interesting that we went to 2 places where the emphasis is on prims rather than the big mesh builds that we often see.
One thing I did find here, and I credited him very much at the end, because when I got there, I just went cameraing around everywhere. Basically, I didn't at the time realize there was a spaceship up the top and stuff like that. But I was very impressed by the architecture, because it all had a style, and it was all very simple, but it wasn't. Everything was obviously unique. He hadn't just picked it up from somewhere, and it had that very spacious feel, big windows, you know, things on legs. So that you know, it just felt like
it's a very personal build. Yeah, I was just curious. Kim, do you know Lawrence? He's a Kitely guy. Is that somebody that you've run into?
No, I haven't. I just jotted his name down because I'm going to ask him if he wants to be involved with the Open Sim Worlds Fest.
That's a great idea. He's such a nice man.
Yep, I'm going to ask him. It looks beautiful, his work.
We have our Jessica there, our other camera person.
Well, we all had this terrible lag, of course, because we just come from a very laggy place. So, but Kitely being Kitely, I think we managed to get over it pretty fast. And this is I love this. He's got a planet Earth, and then he's got the spaceship above it, and it gives a really great effect. This is just a photo, but I think the world was actually turning.
Yeah.
So sadly, I didn't get a gif of that.
I had a bit of a problem getting up there. I sort of, I've been filming and that behind, and I kept on choosing you and other people and said, show them me so I could teleport to you and whatever. And every time I just got the globe in the distance and I couldn't zoom in or out or anything. It was hitting the back button. Eventually, there I did get to see a bit of it near the end, of course, because there's a Mars thing too, isn't there? Actually, let me stop talking and move on. We'll probably see it in a minute. Yes, inside the spaceship. This is the exact opposite of the architecture downstairs, of course. This is much more.
Well, the trick here is that he actually has, I think, there's 3 different spaceships. So you teleport from one to the other, and that brings you all the way up to Mars. So, but again, Prim work. It's a long time since I've seen this much detail, and obviously he's been building this for well over 10 years. So there's a huge amount of history in every part of it. And I remember he said a wonderful comment, which was that when he comes in World, he's been building this for so long. It's like meeting with an old and valued friend, because everything's so everything brings memories with it of the things that he's built. Charming person.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, cool. Sorry, so there's something about lavender tea there that just popped up. Never mind. Yeah, I mean, it probably helps, if you said he doesn't make this public very often. So, it's sort of, there is something quite likable about, like when I had like a 25 5x5 far region, it's a huge amount of land. And I used to hop in there and I didn't care there was nobody there. But it meant I didn't get interrupted. I could carry on working on it, So I imagine he's one of these guys who just likes to be in there and get on with it meticulously over how many years? 10 years, you said. That's a long time. But yeah, it shows, though. It's nice build. Okay, there's another bit of... oh, this one's moving. One of your gifts here. That could almost be a continuous loop of film, couldn't it? Except the rockets aren't doing their thing. Okay. Oh God, where's this?
And of course, as always, when Lawrence showed me the region and explained what he wanted to do, I did warn him. I'm not sure how seriously he took me, that there would be a lot of sitting and lying down and generally posing. And of course, as soon as we came to the sleeping arrangement part of the ship, there you go.
Everybody the safari pushes the limits. Push the limits. Yep.
I actually, looking at that, the sort of folded up version of Star, isn't it? The wings there and something. I mean, I thought that was a mortuary. I looked closely.
It just goes to show you how important it is to have something interactive in every build, because that's the first thing people want to do is pose.
Yeah.
And of course, sitting is prime.
Especially if they're sitting, as we know. Hey, James?
Yeah, sitting, dancing, sleeping, we'll do it all.
Oh, yeah. I remember this bit near the end. There's Tosha. And...
oh, yes, the feature of this build is, apart from the fact it's made of prims, is Lawrence's interest in NASA. So he has loads and loads of resources. So if you're interested in, examining and thinking about what NASA is doing, here's Tana sitting on the planet. She's on top of the world. She got lost. Yeah, but so anyway, his interest is in NASA. So if that's something that you share, he's a pretty well-informed guy. He's a very, very modest, very charming person. But very well-informed. So, the build he tries to update it as often as he can so that he's got the latest pages showing, and it's just a nice way to think about space while you're in a spaceship, really.
That picture is you talking about. I'm not quite sure who that was again, but I
You're
must.
having a Star Trek moment. Lucy decided to go into the engine, and I told her don't, because you remember what happened to Spock. She didn't care. She went anyway.
Anyway, yeah. I was actually just going to compliment you. I don't know. I did at the time. That was a nice costume you were wearing on Wednesday. Well, it's the fabric, the color, the whole look of it is just nice. So
Thank you.
They're all nice. I show nicer than nice, that one. Put my foot in it there. There we are. More bits. This is when I finally did get there when you got to Mars. James has definitely found something to sit on there, hasn't he? And jumped on really quick, and it looks like he's typing away to typing to control it.
If it fits, James sits.
There we go. We got a new line now. If it fits, James sits. Yes. If there's a crowd, look for Atlloud.
Yeah. So this is the very end of the tour, where he has on a lunar landscape, he has the footprints. And of course, Lawrence is quite interested in VR. And I believe he told me that he writes for Hypergrid Business on the subject. So, of course, James put on his visor just to celebrate that. And we all stood around and looked at the
those footprints are a bit big for James. I think he's having his on there. He's got some fake shoes on.
This is bringing us back to the topic of last week, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. And there it is, as you expect Mars to be, really red. The red banner with all its bits. And plenty of solar panels to boot. Right, moving on to, now this is the other one. I got mistaken when I clicked on them. I thought this was actually our first visit, which was also a prim visit. A sort of priory. This is in oldie England, if I remember right. Well, remembering to it was. It's a nice historical build, but well, it goes back a long way, doesn't it? Thirza, basically, you were telling us.
Yeah, I adore this because the first time I came here was in 2011. Phenomenal how long this build has been around. That was the first time I visited. I hypergridded in here actually, no, I had to make an avatar because you couldn't hypergrid in here for some reason. It was on New World Grid back then, where, of course, our friend Jeff Hall, and who else was on there? No, Jeff Kelly, I mean, and Emma Socrates was on there, and Graham Mills too. Were on that grid way back when, and they had all their builds there. And of course, Mount Grace was there, but it's moved around then. Has finally found a home on Science Circle Grid, which is a grid that belongs to a science in people who are interested in science in Second Life have this grid in OpenSim, and so most of the builds there are to do with factual things. So they either archaeological or there's a build that's all about chemistry, stuff like that. Anyway, so this build has ended up on that particular grid, and yes, we definitely had issues with lag. I can't lie, but it's such a pretty build, and again, all prim. So, and we all learned out what a threshold means. Do you remember?
Oh,
looking at this particular picture.
Yeah, the threshing. Of the what was it? The wheat or something? They thrash it. They thrash it. They called it threshing. And
yes, but and that little rounded curve pulls in the threshed corn, and that's why you call a doorway a threshold.
It brings new meaning to carrying the lady over the threshold, doesn't it? I'm going to just dump you in, dump you on the other side.
Come on safari and learn something.
We live and learn something a little while, don't we? I would never have guessed or known that, to be honest, if it hadn't been mentioned. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, the lag was pretty unspeakable. There's no doubt about it. That's why there's no GIFs on this particular post. But this is a place, you can visit anytime. There's a very, very thorough explanation of the build you can land in a skybox, and from there you get sort of the context not only of the way it was built, but of the actual place. Which, if you look it up on Wikipedia, there's really almost nothing left of the house. It's all the stone was robbed out to make a stately home. So how she did this, how she managed to bring it all back to life in a virtual world is just phenomenal. That's Christy Maeterlinck, by the way. She's just a sweetheart, very, very lovely lady, and a huge talent. And she's kept this going now. As I say, I mean, it was already around in 2011. It had already been around quite a while. So it's a piece of history of OpenSim as well as the real world.
A lot of research as well, just behind being able to put all that together. And that's the final one. That's in a.
And of course, we had to sit.
Yeah, James is sitting. I believe that even I was sitting in there for a while. Very unlike me.
I don't see you.
No, I don't. I think I no, there he is. Obviously,
oh, there you are, yeah.
My persona would not want to be seen sitting here, really.
And again, I'm sorry about the pictures are not great, but there was just such lag. I was struggling. But we did survive.
I'm rather glad you can't see me clearly on that. Okay, so that was it for our. That's it all from everything on my desktop. We've had pictures, videos, everything. So now we can move in world and bring in our guests. As I said, I do have a spare film we can show in the background if we need to, but our guests have actually brought some slides of their own, which we're looking at now anyway. So after quite a long interlude, I'm afraid, I'd like to welcome back our three guests, who, well, actually all three of them show up here as coming from Kitely, but I guess soon they'll have a tag on them saying Wolves Fair. We have Kimm Starr, we have Cooper Swizzle, and we have Koshari I've done it again. Maharaj indeed. Say it again. Koshari.
Mahana.
Mahana. Mahana. Right. Koshari Mahana. Right. Okay. Try not to all speak at once. I'm going to let sort of Thirza lead on this. Really, she's got a bit more info on what you guys are doing. So far, I've just joined up with your basic Discord channel, which I guess is the place where it all starts from. And I've been looking at various things there. Before we go any further, I'll compliment you on the clothing. I guess Cooper and Kimm are... they're loud colours, aren't they? Very sort of circusy. And they also remind me of the other thing coming up. What's his name? I never remember. The primary color guy who we celebrate every year.
Cornflakes.
Cornflakes, that's it. You almost fit in a cornflakes mode there as well. So yeah. I know you've got some slides to show you. I think I'll hand over to Thirza first to ask you the essential questions about what you got planned and everything else, and then when in your own time, when you feel ready, Kimm, I guess it is, are going to control the slides. You can then take over with those, but. Thirza with you first, I think.
Yeah, I was curious. All three of you, thank you for being here. And I was just curious, first of all, to know a little bit more about why you guys decided to organize something that's a very complicated event to organize, and I was just incredibly impressed by your decision to do it. And I wondered if we could learn why you wanted to do it. Maybe we could start with Koshari, if you could tell us what your thinking is, and then the other two maybe chip in and say why you thought this would be a good thing to do, have a World's Fair.
Well, thank you for asking. Well, we came up with the idea about a year ago, and we just wanted something to bring all the worlds together and get to know each other from all the different worlds out there. And we wanted to have something where people could build art and they could have fashion shows, we'll have rides. We just wanted it to be, the real world World's Fairs, like especially the 1939 World's Fair, how it shows all the tech from the future and stuff. And we like that idea of people coming from around, from different grids and getting together and building together. And that was basically the idea.
Could I just ask, you mentioned there the 30s World Fair and how its focus was actually looking at the future, like, but nobody knows what the future holds, but prototyping things for the future. Is that an element you're hoping to bring into this? I know, like, advanced virtual things kind of thing, showing the way towards the future in virtual worlds, in OpenSim, for example. Or is it just the concept of the fair that you modeled on?
Well, it was just basically a World's Fair concept, but we are hoping that the creators that are going to be building for the World's Fair will be very innovative, and they'll show us things that we haven't seen before, especially the tech people. They're going to have a whole area to themselves to show off what they've been working on. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, there'll be elements from the past and elements from the future and elements that are totally reimagined. So hopefully it'll all come off like that.
Sounds great. And Cooper, how did you get involved? What does this mean for you personally to be part of something like this?
Well, I'm good friends with both Kimm and Koshari, and when they told me about it, excuse me, I was excited to hear that they were going to do it. And then they asked me if I would join, and I said, of course, because I like to see different things happening. Their concept and idea of having all the different grids participating in it, so that, and I hope I don't step on anyone's toes. I mean, this is going to be a year-long event in the sense of being able to have the time to really create something and also learn from other people, and maybe have parties during the next year, just so that we're networking, so that we're not, quote, siloed, as so many people think we are. So yes, I find this quite interesting.
Yeah, it's a great idea. And I was wondering, Kimm, what's your point of view from the organizational side of things? Do you have a kind of a game plan of how you're going to organize things?
Yes. I work really well with Coach and Bruce, Cooper Swizzle. But we've discussed this in great detail amongst ourselves, and what we're really trying to do, it's going to be sort of a social experiment that hasn't been done here before. So we get people from all grids, work together for a year, workshop for a year, teach people how to build. We want new, innovative stuff. We want to show people something different. This is not going to look like Second Life 2010. We want new stuff. If people don't know how to build, we want to do Blender Blast throughout the year. We want to help people bring their best foot forward. It hasn't been done before. We have been, all three of us, we've been part of several different open sim events, and they've all been really a lot of fun. But really, we weren't able to get to know the people that we were working side by side with because we were under the gun. There was a time restraint that really just didn't work for networking. This is going to be different. Got a year. So this is what we're planning on. And so far, like even last night, Wildwood Bayou Grid, they're like one of the first grids to sign up for the Open Sim World's Fair, and we went to their Mardi Gras party last night. So shout out to my peeps from Wildwood Bayou Grid.
Shout out to them. Yeah, Harmony and Fit and everybody. Kiss. Great, and they're a great gang over there. So another question for Koshari. So we're talking about World's Fair, and as you said to Mal, the theme is not exactly to replicate World's Fair. You just want to look at pushing the envelope, have more technology, have things that have a wow factor. But so I wonder, do you have any other theme? Is there an overarching theme that you're planning for the event?
No, we deliberately didn't have a theme because we want people to be, use their creativity in any way they want. And we don't want them limited to a theme. So it's basically anything goes within, I mean, we don't want any pornography or anything like that. But other than that, people can be creative as they want. They can do any theme they want within our overall World's Fair concept.
That's
Right,
quite freeing because it can be difficult to come up with something that's a theme, I must say.
we're also asking people to try not to use copy-bodied material, which is why we want to do workshops with Blender, to try to help people learn how to build in mesh and bring forth
Yeah,
their.
no, that's true. Most people would prefer to have something original rather than something copy-bodied if they have the skills to do it or if they can learn. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cooper, what do you plan to have happening at the festival? Are you a builder? Are you thinking of building, or are you thinking of running the social side of it? What's your deal, do you think? Do you have
I'm
plans
actually
yet?
going. Yes, I'm actually going to be building. I do adult training. So I'm going to bring one of my adult trainings that I have that was near the cave that y'all went to. We're not doing the cave this time. I'm building with Kimm's help and Koshari's help. I'm building Paris, Greece, and Venice. And it's going to be a learning experience, but you're going to be doing it on gondolas. There's waterways and things of that nature, because I want to show people how you can use 3D environments for training and make them immersive, not just walking around and clicking on objects here and there, but actually being in the world and doing.
So lots of eye candy. That's a great idea.
Yes, I'm into lots of eye candy. I mean, look at this outfit.
Yes. I was just going to ask well, a couple of things there, actually. What you were saying, Cooper, is like 3 cities, right? An environment to immerse yourself in and learn about them. Are you planning that all these will be in the overall vast region that will be the World's Fair? You'll be centering everything in one location, however big it gets, I take it, rather than lots of different places.
Yes. Yeah, we have an all-inclusive grid that we put together. Nobody is in an entirely different region. You can pretty much walk or fly to everybody's showcase.
Wonderful. And the other question I had, I mean, it ties in with what Thirza was asking anyway. You may or may not know that we're involved. The next one is in April, Hypergrid International Expo. And our real thing with that has been to put some focus on the other languages that are present, like in the real world in OpenSim. For example, we want people to give presentations in French or in Portuguese or in Italian. And the one coming up in April will be the 3rd. So I'm wondering if you have any ideas in that department, like a global reach out. Obviously, the world is the world of worlds. But have you taken into account the multiculturalism will come with whoever comes, if you see what I mean? But have you made any deliberate strides to include, foreign language or some of the less familiar cultures as part of it?
We are working on that, and we already started reaching out to all of the grids. I mean, there are some fabulous ones like Germany and the Netherlands and Korea. There are so many different grids out there, and we want to include them all.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and so Koshari, can you tell us a bit about which grid because you guys were all from Kitely. So when you told me that you were thinking of doing this event, I assumed immediately that you would be doing it on Kitely, but that's not true, is it?
No, we chose wolf territories for this, primarily because they're always on and the waterways connects to everywhere else. Like somebody could somebody from on far reaches of Wolf Grid can actually boat in to the World's Fair.
Wow.
And we like that idea a lot. And it's very fast grid. And I don't know, that's basically the three reasons we decided on Wolf territories.
Also, they use glow bits and Podex, so everybody, sellers and entertainers, everybody can cash their money out through PayPal. So that was a big plus too. And none of us are coders, so we decided there is absolutely no way that we could run a standalone grid like some of the other people. No way. And it gives us, because we have somebody behind the scenes doing all of that, and Lone Wolf is really so welcoming and so good with any of our requests as far as the tech goes. It gives us time to really work on the fair itself. We don't have to worry.
Yeah. He's a lovely man. So I think, Kim, you've got some slides you want to show us, or you guys, all three of you, probably want to talk through them. Do you want to start showing those to us, maybe?
Absolutely. Okay. So we start off with, this is really like homepage of our website that's showing right now.
That's a great image. It's retro futuristic. I love it.
It's actually the center of World's Fair and our landing zone and our observatory and where everybody will get their information. It's a really cool build, and we're working with scripters to really make this a kinetic sculpture. So it's going to look real neat. This is the OpenSim World's Fair logo, official. So keep an eye out for it. We're going to be putting out so much information in the next couple of months. Same as this is our avatar logo. So keep an eye out for it because a lot of information is coming out shortly. Here is the grid itself. Koshari, God love you. She parceled this whole land herself. I don't know how she did it.
It's an 8x8, so it's really large. It's the equivalent of 64 Second Life Sims, so it's huge.
It's huge.
And are you going to keep it flat like this, or is it going to be landscaped, or does it need to be flat so that everybody gets a fair shake of the sunlight and the?
It's going to be flat on the mainland, but if you could see in the background, those are full Sims available all around this whole grid, and they can terraform and do whatever they want on a full Sim. But you can see them and you can walk directly to them. So nobody is hidden away. Everybody is going
colored
to
areas. You won't see those colors because people, the pink area, you see that bright pink, that's going to all be rides and games. And then the other parcels that you see, the green and the blue, those are going to be parcels that other people build on. And so they'll change that base prim. It won't be those colors. They'll have grass or concrete or whatever they want to have. And there's going to be a lot of height because people will have their exhibits. We're going to have height limits though. For the closer they are to the center, there's more of a height limit. And then you can get higher and higher as we go out to the full Sims.
So what's the qualifications to get one of these areas? What does a person need to do? I mean, obviously they can't apply today. I'm not saying that, but what kind of people are you looking for in terms of, do you want grid owners? Do you want individual artists? Do you want people who've never built before? Who do you want?
We would love grid owners to become involved. Because, the thing is, as a grid owner, now you're showcasing your world. And we would love grid owners to come and take a full Sim and give everybody a taste of what they do and what they're all about. Not only that, but they can create a team of their own people to come in and build this, and also network with everybody else that's going to be building for a year. So, there are so many grids that I don't even know about. And so I think it's
Yeah, I was
worthwhile.
actually going to ask that to Coop. I was going to ask Cooper because I know that one of your roles on Kitely is you try to be an ambassador for virtual worlds. So does this project, does this mean you're going to come into contact with a lot more grids, do you think? A lot more owners and a lot more, residents of OpenSim?
That's a really good question. And yes, I've already been in touch with Wolf, asking him if he knows anyone on his territory that would like to become the ambassador for Wolf Territories. Yeah, I'm going to do my best in this next year with meeting people. I usually, when I go around, unless I'm uncomfortable for whatever the reason might be, I will friend everyone I run into. If they friend me back, great. I also read their description to see if it's someone that, might be, or not might be, but would have interest in being an ambassador or even just working, helping out. So I have a lot of hope that it will bring more people into the VWEC, and we will put a little VWEC area up to let people know that, it's not just in Second Life, but it's in Kitely. Hopefully soon it might be in Wolf territory as well.
And a lot of the other grid owners that will become involved.
And I want to add that it's not just, it is for grid owners, but also we want individuals. You might want to advance the slides, Kim, because we talk about that later. We want individuals who, yeah, there's the map. She's showing the map. But we want artists, designers, tech people, fashion designers. We want grids, but we also want individuals to get involved, and just show us merchants to get involved. Just all kinds of people from all over the hypergrid.
I'm sorry.
So you're charging an amount of money for each of these places that you want people to come and build on. So is the idea that this is a fee that lasts, that it's a one-time fee for the whole year? Is that your concepts there?
Yeah, it's a one-time fee, and they can. Okay, I need to preface this. They can build throughout the year, but the actual event, the actual fair that's open to the public, will be from March 1st to March 30th of 2025. So although you have a whole year to build, that doesn't mean that the fair is going to be open to the public for a whole year. It's just going to be basically volunteers and builders there for the first, this whole year now.
Okay.
And I should say too that it's not for profit. All these fees, these are the one-time fee for the whole year. This is money that's going to go to entertainers and scripts and things that we need. Nobody's getting rich from this at all. It's going to go directly back into the fair.
Oh, that's right. You pay for scripts on Kitely. I've forgotten that. Yeah.
We keep our fees really, really low, sponsorship fees, because we know everybody's hurting financially right now, and we want everybody to be involved.
So, our interesting question there, because obviously that's raising money and it goes towards the fair and everything. Will people who do the builds and take part, will they actually be able to sell stuff and things like that at the fair themselves, or is a commercial side to it, the commercial side out of bounds?
For sure. Yes, you can sell. You can sell. You can add links to your storefronts. Absolutely.
Right, so for $25 for the month, somebody could end up selling considerably more than that. Right. Okay, fair enough.
Right, they could recoup their money pretty fast.
In fact, you did say it supports Globits and the other one and PayPal too, so it won't be limited to virtual
Globits,
currency.
Codex, and PayPal.
Yeah.
All right, our next slide, we're calling for builders, creators, and scripters because we are building the mainland of the World's Fair, and we would love a team of people that would like to come in and volunteer their time to help us build and create something that nobody's seen before. We want people that are thinking outside the box. We're in open sim. Anything goes. We all kind of get wrapped up in like the real world, and we're not in the real world. We're in open sim. So really, like, think outside of the box. Think totally different because anything goes here. And that's what we want to bring forth for the World's Fair. We want to make this wild, futuristic.
And I want to add too that we're looking for people that know how to build rides because you saw in that older slide, the pink area, we have quite a vast area that's just for rides when people first land. So we're looking for creators and scripters and builders that can help us with some of those key installations that are right around the landing area.
Mm.
All right, our next slide. We're putting out a call for artists, techies, educators, fashion designers, entertainers. We would love for you to join our Discord channel, which I'm sure you'll link at the bottom of the YouTube video. This way we can come and check you out and invite you to show for nothing. We have an artist pavilion, a technology pavilion, an educators pavilion, fashion designers and entertainers. And those people do not pay to show off what they're doing.
Oh,
We're even
so
gonna have a
okay, so
fashion show there.
just to be clear, so sorry, I think I misunderstood. So if somebody's an artist, they can get a plot of land without paying the fee, or they
It's
pay
not
the
a
fee? How does that
It's
work?
not a plot of land, it's a small showcase. But if they would like a larger plot of land to really showcase what they do, they can purchase that separately. But in our artist pavilion, we have areas where people can show off some of their paintings, their sculptures, some of their real world art. Again, and they can also link to then their bigger plot of land if they would like to do that to show more of what they're doing.
We're also wanting to have fashion shows, and we're looking for a volunteer to help with that because none of us have ever hosted a fashion show before. So we're really hoping that somebody steps forward and kind of takes the reins on that.
Yeah, there are so many.
And in that case, you're looking for original clothes made in open sim. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it sounds like you've got a huge amount organized, and of course, if you're going to be teaching some classes, will those classes, do you plan to offer them for free, or is there a fee if you want to join the classes,
Free.
like for building or so forth?
Free. I have taken hundreds of hours of tutorials throughout the years. Anybody that knows my work knows that I like to push the envelope. I'm really trying to do something different in OpenSim. And I have a lot of experience in Blender, SketchUp, and I'd love to share my knowledge with people. And anybody else that is interested, like I know Mike Laurie does classes, so does Kayaka. So, and they're very involved with the World's Fair as well. So, amongst us all, we're going to help people. We want to help people really learn how to build because we want to show that OpenSim is just as creative and innovative as Second Life. We we are contenders in this platform. And that's what we want.
Arguably, if the percentage of people who are creators is probably much higher in OpenSim than it is in Second Life, where so many people just really they're much more consumers. I don't know if Mal, if you agree with that, but
pretty much. I mean, especially these days, it's become a virtual goods consumer type platform. I think maybe there was a larger amount of creators in the earlier days, when they were paving new territory, but yeah, those are still there. They're in places like here, or maybe Sansar and Science Space, and some people have gone there. But yeah, the leading edge is not really what you think of when you think Second Life now. I certainly think OpenSim. Politically, creatively, socially, more important place really.
OpenSim has so many people that have been in World for so long. So, yeah, there is so much creativity, but there are some people that just don't know how to build yet. And we're willing to help them. I'm willing to help them. Like I said, hundreds of hours of
I can promise you there's lots of people who would love to learn how to do animesh. Most people can throw some prims together, but very few can do animesh. I just noticed that Mike McHugh is listening and watching us on YouTube. So shout out to Mike and also to Lone Wolf. He's also watching. Mike has a question. He says, "Will it be hypergrid usable?" So I'm guessing he's asking if it will be reachable by the hypergrid. So is that true? Guys?
Yes, definitely. Like I said, this first year is going to be just for builders and volunteers. But then when we open for the month, it'll be for everybody and people all over the hypergrid and come in, build the hypergrid in.
I've just moved one of your slides forward a little bit so that we can show on camera the Discord address. So people just leave that up for a while so that people can actually write that down to go to your Discord channel.
Right, and when we say yes, the OpenSim World Fair will be closed to the public for the year, but you have to understand we have like 72 pieces of land that are available for sponsorship. That's at the very least 72 people, but everybody's going to have a little bit of a team, so that could triple in numbers. We plan on having small events throughout the year amongst the builders and the scripters and sponsors. I think it's going to be a really nice way to get to know one another. We'll also
a huge social event, yeah. Can I just give a quick shout out to Wendy Blackthorne and Wendy Grimstead, who are also watching us on YouTube. Hi, guys. I mean, it's the social thing that really counts. Yeah.
Hi.
It's a social side of OpenSim that really brings the heart to all the creation that we see around us, isn't it? It's that's the element, the community side of it, that really is important. So it's wonderful that you're able to combine the wonders of OpenSim also with this idea of getting people together and having a chance for, as you say, for people to meet up and cross-pollinate, if you like, between the different kind of creative people that are in OpenSim. So how long do you think it'll be until you get started, until the first people can begin thinking about moving in and starting to build something?
Right. It's going to be a lot of creators working side by side throughout the year, and that's going to be so much fun, and just sharing ideas and getting to know each other.
We're hoping, our aim is for March 1st to have the website up and running, and where we're able to collect the sponsor fees, and then people will have immediate access. They'll have access within 24 hours of purchasing their land. So yeah, it's happening quick. We're working fast.
I don't want to freak you guys out, but the whole of Kitely meeting is watching this video right now. So if you want to wait,
Shout
now's the
out to
time.
my Kitely peeps.
Hey,
Hey.
Shout
Kitely.
out to our Kitely friends.
Of course, it's
We
their
love
weekly,
you.
it's their weekly meeting. It always collides with this show.
I'm glad. I'm
Well, I
glad
think it's a great idea. It seems like you have lots of ideas, and many of them are original. Of course, there is so much creativity in OpenSim. Sometimes there's more than we realize because a lot of people are quite modest and they don't show off their creativity sort of in a very flashy way. So you have to kind of go out and hunt for it quite often. But the idea that people have got plenty of time to get used to the concept and there were opportunities to learn and to meet up with other people. These are all great ideas, and the idea that you're allowing so much time, so there's not the stress of having to get everything all put together in a few weeks. That also, I think, is very unusual in OpenSim. We don't usually see that. Of course, being in OpenSim, we do have that luxury of time, which you wouldn't maybe get in Second Life so much.
exactly.
So when is your next meeting?
Yeah, I've just fast forwarded to your next slide. I think it's the last one because that's got all the information. I'm thinking of time here, so yeah, your meeting. Yeah.
We don't have those. We think we're going to have the next week meeting in Wolf Territories on a platform above the World Fair, but we don't have the landmark for that yet. So anybody joins the Discord, we can put the landmark in there, or just email us. We have our email address there now. That's a brand new email that we're excited about. And so just reach out and we'll tell you about the meeting and how you can find us and participate.
Yeah, Discord. Everybody join the Discord because that is where the main information is going to be shouted out to you. So we can't stress that enough. You really need to join the Discord channel, and we look so forward to meeting so many people in the next couple of weeks.
Are you putting outreach in other places like Facebook, MeWe, OpenSimWorld, whatever?
I'm responsible at the moment for social media, so every grid that I have that's on Facebook, I'm posting like I posted this for today. One last thing I want to bring up before we do go, and it's a shout out to our Kitely fans and our Kitely teams. On the 24th of February, 12 o'clock, beach party. Bring your swimsuits. Had to tell you now because we're not at the Kitely meeting.
Yeah, it's going to be held at the new Kitely Event Center. We have a Kitely Event Center that we're going to be having events there every approximately 2 months. So we've got the beach party coming up, and it'd be great to see people from all over the hypergrid come and jump in the sun with us.
Yeah, if they're in the Northern Hemisphere, I think they could do with a bit of that.
Yeah.
Right, so James, our ever silent partner here. Well, not always actually. Have you got any questions for the guys here?
No, I mean, I was actually asking Koshari about the lip HUD that she was using to move her lips.
But, right, yeah. Not the same as ours, right?
Right. I'm always curious about that.
I don't think I have one. I don't know that I have. Kimm gave me something that enabled a long time ago, so I really don't know. I can't answer that.
I was wondering if it came from Lone Wolf Territories grid.
No, I will pass you one. It is something. It's a tutorial I took online from a creator in Second Life. How to make a lip HUD for mesh avatars, and it works beautifully with my mesh. With my mesh.
Yep.
I will pass you one after the show.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody gets one.
Oh.
Live on there with babies. Right. How about Inworld's promotion? I mean, Cooper just mentioned social media and places like that. I mean, are you going to distribute things like T-shirts, for example, that people can wander around wear, advertising in advance, or
That's a good idea. We hadn't thought about
That's a
that yet. That's
really
a great
good
idea.
idea. We're going to steal that idea. Absolutely.
Those
Yeah,
already
you
have.
can never let people know in too many different ways because so many people in OpenSim, they're busy. They're either busy running the back end of their grid, they're building, they're meeting with their own friends, they're concentrated on their role play game where there's a lot of writing involved and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff to do to collect the resources and assets they need for that. So everybody's really, really busy. So it does take a lot of effort to get the word out. And I really feel that Cooper's got the right approach because there's nothing like the personal angle on these things. Social media, so many people on OpenSim do not have Discord, they do not have Facebook, they don't even like those things at all. So it really does pay to go out and individually try to meet few people from every grid and get the word out that way because you do want, I know very much do want to be inclusive. So that huge part of OpenSim that doesn't really do social media, this is a treasure that is out there and it's worth looking for because those are some of the most creative people that you'll run into. I think both Mal and James would agree with me that we've been to some regions in OpenSim that have just blown our socks off. But those are people that don't have any kind of connection with social media at all. You can only meet them if you go to their grid and find them in World. So I really wish you guys the very best of luck because it's a great idea and there certainly is plenty to show off about OpenSim. It certainly is. Second Life has nothing to really boast about compared with some of the great builders that we have here that are very much unknowns to the major part of people, but are doing some great work.
We want to bring them forward, but also we're going to liaison with you guys throughout the year. You guys are a great source of media in OpenSim, so we are totally going to liaison with you periodically throughout the year. We're not going to let you give away too much information and too many secrets, but we're going to let you into the inner fold so you can kind of spread the word and help us out a little bit, which we so appreciate. We really do appreciate you.
Inner fold. Now I'm scared. It's not going to be any kind of human sacrifices, are there, in this inner fold?
No.
You never know.
Okay.
Only me at this
Just
rate.
checking.
Okay, I think we're getting to the point where James is actually going to sit on something special in a minute. It's called an alarm bell. So in the hope that I can prevent that happening, I should start wrapping up. Have we missed anything? I'll just go around each of you in turn. Anything we might have missed that you suddenly think, oh God, I meant to mention that and forgot. Maybe Kimm first. Anything?
Well, I appreciate you guys having us on the show. As always, you guys are really such a great source of information for OpenSim. And again, we are going to liaison with you guys throughout the year. So you guys are gonna, you're gonna know what's going on and help us to spread the word. We're looking forward to meeting so many new people, and we're really putting ourselves out here. Because we want to help people learn how to build, the ones that don't know how to, and we want to show off the people that do know how to build. We want to show off the innovators, the techies. People are coming up with some really fantastic technology, and there's one woman that we've worked with for the last year working on something called the Animaster, and she's been working on it for over a year. She's going to bring that forth at the OpenSim World's Fair.
I think I've heard of that. Actually, yeah.
Yes, you have, and so we want to show off artists. We want to show off everybody's fantastic work.
All right.
So join the Discord channel.
Okay, Cooper. Any closing thoughts from you that we haven't mentioned yet?
No, just want to thank you. Thank all three of you for letting us come. Looking forward to seeing people at the moment come and join us in Kitely for the beach party. And for those who are interested in being in the open world fair, hope to see you there. And I do want to put one caveat on that. I want to make sure it's clear. The people that Kimm will be teaching these classes to are the people that are going to be working in the World's Fair. It's not open to everyone. Just to, put that out there.
Okay, fine. I've just seen a thing in local chat. Actually, James has just mentioned that if you're watching on YouTube, the full Discord address is on our lower third there as well, so you can click through on that, I believe. Right. Any final thoughts from you, Kashari?
Yeah, I want to thank you for having us on the show. That's just wonderful that you did that. I want to shout out to people that are builders, creators, fashion designers. We're gonna have fashion runways for fashion shows, so we really need the designers to come out and show us their stuff. We've got some great fashion designers here in the Hypergrid, a lot of really good ones. Yeah, and educators too. We've got separate parcels for art, fashion, educators, and tech. And those are free. Those little spaces are free, and they're right around the landing point. So we really need the people to come out and show us their stuff. We're looking for scripters to just help us with the rides, or if you know how to create rides, we want to have that to be a big presence too. And other than that, that's all I got to say.
Right. Well, we've covered an awful lot here, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more from you. I mean, as you've said, whole years ago yet, but as the year goes by, I'm sure we'll get you back again for various updates and things like that.
I just remembered one thing. Can I add one thing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Rosa, everybody knows DJ Rosa,
yeah.
and she's going to be doing our entertainment recruitment. So if you're an entertainer and you want to be involved with the World's Fair, please contact Rosa. I can't pronounce her last name. Does anybody?
Ashkeef or something like that.
Join the Discord channel.
Alexeyev.
There's an
there's
Rosa
a channel on
Alexeyev.
our Discord server called Entertainment. So if you're in entertainment, join our Discord, go to the channel called Entertainment, and hit up Rosa for any information of how you can get involved.
And I should mention we have a server called Hypergrid Explorers and Creators, which I don't advertise enough. There's so many people on it now anyway, but that's on Discord. So,
put that link in.
Yeah, I think I added you the other day, Kashari, when you friended me. So yeah, that's you can post anything in there as well. So good place to put stuff. Right. Any final questions from you, Thirza? I should have asked or.
No questions, but I'd just like to say it's a hugely ambitious project, this, and I wish you guys all the best of luck. And hopefully, over the next year, we will hear back from you many times and to learn how it's going. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, yeah. And yeah, just a quick note actually, because I think Rosa has something to do with this. There's going to be a period of about 8 weeks where we won't be taking a break from Inworld Review. Thirza will. We're going to do about 8 shows, which we'll be calling summer sessions, and we'll be focusing on musicians and performers and things. So heads up there if anybody's interested, let us know. And just a heads up anyway, really. So time to wrap up, I think. My thanks again to our wonderful guests this week, Kimm Starr, Cooper Swizzle, and Kashari Mahana. I've done it again. Mahana, I think is right, isn't it? Also, thanks, of course, for fiddling with all the knobs to etc. to James Atlloud. Thank you, James.
Sure thing, Mal.
And thank you, of course, to a wonderful co-host called Thirza Ember. Thank you, Thirza.
Thanks, Mal. Thanks.
And for me, of course, thanking myself or whatever one does. I'm talking about myself, indeed. And of course, thanks to the dog. I keep saying it's not Woofus, it's Barkus, but he can be both, really. Okay, so we're out of here, I'm afraid. I wish you all a very good morning, very good evening, a very good afternoon. Indeed, a good tomorrow, depending on wherever and whenever you are. And we're out of here.